Oh, the joys of solitude. There's something oddly liberating about being alone. I just, as an introvert, love the feeling and idea of not having to answer anyone, not having to do bullshit conversations, and just being by myself with my thoughts, which can sometimes get a little overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. That's why you have a dog, or a cat, but I have a dog, a Shiba. That Shiba's important. I also am married, so I do have a partner that, serves as kind of my best friend, my wife, my lover, sometimes my disciplinarian. Ultimately, being alone, it's a paradox because there's bliss, but there's also very peculiar pains of solitude that must be discussed because, well, I feel like talking about it. So firstly, the pleasure, right? Being alone is like having a VIP pass to the theater of self-entertainment. There are no judgments. There are no compromises. You can sing, right? Off key, do your favorite tune if you want, right? Dance like nobody's watching. Not that I do that, but if I wanted to, there's that option. You can practice stand-up comedy, which I'm particularly horrible at. It's a one-person party where the guest list is just you, yourself, and an incredibly comfortable environment. For me, as someone who can just kind of like entertain myself, it's nice. Now, let's not overlook the pain, of course. If you run into an issue, you got to deal with it alone. There's no one there to help you, right? The other day, the paper towels were way up above the fridge. I didn't know where the bar stool was, okay? Usually we have a bar stool that I stand up on to get the paper towels. Wifey's not home. I can't get a hold of her because she's working. How the frick am I going to get up there? Well, I Spider-Man jumped up onto the oven, okay? Grabbed that paper towel, brought it down. When I jumped down, because I'm old, I hurt my knee. Now I can't work out today. Boom, consequence of being alone. This is something life can't prepare you for, okay? These kind of things, these kind of moments are gonna come up, and if you have no one there to help you, well, that sucks, and you gotta deal with it. If you're alone too much, you're gonna get wrapped up in your own thoughts. Sometimes having conversation and being able to, express yourself to someone else and just kind of, speak and say things that you want to someone you're comfortable with can be very, very nice. Now, usually I don't want to deal with the responsibility of that relationship, right? Marriage has worked out nicely for me because my partner's kind of similar. We spend a lot of time kind of in the same house but apart, which is awesome because we're both independent. But if you have someone else who's a little more attached oriented and wants to spend a lot of time with you and they'll be able to listen to you but also want to speak like constantly talking to you about what they're thinking, yeah, that's where I kind of like I can't do that. I can't do that a lot, right? It's a matter of, if you are going to be alone in your thoughts, you have to be able to express them somehow. Maybe you can create content like this, which is why I do it. Or maybe you can write, or you can, find some kind of creative outlet. I think that is important. You don't want to keep it all bottled up inside. And there is some science behind this, right? The pleasure and pains of solitude. Studies suggest that the solitude offers a unique opportunity for introspection and self-discovery. Okay, if you can channel those thoughts in the right way, it can be very beneficial to discovering who you are and what you really want in life. And of course, an additional pleasure to all this, right, is the autonomy. That can foster creativity, enhance problem solving, but prolonged isolation can trigger feelings of loneliness that impacts mental health and can increase stress levels, of course. Research indicates that social interactions trigger the release of oxytocin and dopamine, the feel-good chemicals in the brain, which can contribute to emotional well-being. And I have noticed that. If I'm around people I actually would genuinely want to talk to and be around, I do feel better. Even just for a moment, it feels great, I just can't do that all the time. I need to get out of that situation as fast as possible afterward and kind of recharge and maybe spend an entire week, just doing my own thing, being in my own routine. But I actually sometimes feel more alone when I'm around other people, if I'm not able to truly express myself authentically. I hate that feeling of wearing a mask. I really, truly hate it. It just doesn't sit right with me, and I just need to be out of those situations completely. But again, it's all about balance, because if I am alone, too long, yes, I do start to feel a sense of like, okay, I need to kind of like talk to someone here. I need to be social. I need to like get some freaking friends or something. The pain of loneliness can be attributed to the absence of these neurochemical boosts. While solitude can be a catalyst for personal growth, finding a balance between me time and social engagement is crucial for overall happiness and well-being. That balance is key. In life, balance is everything. But you have to be able to see where you're lacking, where you need, to do more here, where you need to do less here. You need to be able to see that for yourself. And I do think spending time by yourself is one way to figure that out through that introspection. And I think I mentioned the Shiba, I think I mentioned the dog thing. Deep existential conversations are best had with your pet. I'm telling you, your furry friend becomes your therapist, listening intently, okay, as you discuss your life, you're discussing your fears, and that Merlin will just sit there. Yeah, he'll stare at me like, what the hell are you saying? Yeah, sure. But it's the point that he's there. Well, he sometimes give me a judgmental look and then lick his balls and then, jump off the couch and go grab a toy and bring it over because he's tired of my shit and wants to play. And yeah. And if you don't have a dog, maybe you got a plant. Talk to the plant. It's all good. So in conclusion, I think being alone is a roller coaster ride between pleasure and pain. There's freedom associated with it. There's an occasional paranoia, did I just hear that, right? Okay, that can happen. It's a unique experience that teaches us to embrace our own quirks, our individuality, celebrate our own adventures that we can have, okay, without the influence of others. Also seeing what we really do need from others in our life as well. Yeah, if you're a loner, it's all good. Just make sure you're seeing yourself and your situation properly.